but I want to be able to afford gas at this point, you know? Gas is expensive. Yo, all right, part 2 of the 2-part video on the CrossFit Gym. And part 1 was why you should own a CrossFit Gym. Part 2 is going to be why you should not own a CrossFit Gym. My channel, with what I'm doing, I'm trying to spread messages and I'm trying to get to as many people as possible. I told you I'm doing it through like some clickbaity crap, some stuff that people just like to hear me talk about, some stuff that people may not want to talk about, but I'll be the one to talk about it. With the negativity comes the positivity. So with the owning a CrossFit Gym one, I tried to bring out all the good that came before I possibly bring out some of the stuff where people are going to think negatively about it. So before you say all I do is talk crap, go watch that video and see about the good that comes from owning a CrossFit Gym. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's start getting into the stuff about why you might not want to open up a CrossFit Gym. Before I say anything, I should probably tell you that I didn't go to school to be a businessman. I went to school for exercise physiology and kinesiology. That's what my degree is in. With that, I just, wandered into the CrossFit Gym and thought, follow the model, do what people are doing. With what I'm about to tell you on all this, that's what I hear from a lot of people. A lot of people are in my boat. They love fitness. They want to help people. And you know what? They don't want to do it at a Globo gym, so they go and open up a CrossFit Gym. They open up a CrossFit Gym because they don't want to be working for somebody else anymore. They're very headed like me, and they think, this is the way to do it. I can do it better. And if they're doing it so well where they hear all the members saying, hey, we're only here to hear you and talk to you, then why would they be making money for somebody else, right? So the next step in the progression is they go and open up their own gym. They have a membership base. This is the cycle of this person where I'm going to talk from my experience. If there are people out there who are business-minded and they know a better way to do this, good for them. But that wasn't me. So the number one issue was that it's impossible to make money. And I still have my head set on this way. I still think that it's damn impossible to make money. Right now it's not in here, but I have a car that I like to drive. Every time I get into the car, it puts a huge smile on my face. It's the car that I've always wanted. It's a car that I couldn't afford as a gym owner. It's also a car that, ironically, as a gym owner, if I would have pulled up in it, everybody would look at it and go, wow, this gym must be doing really well. Why is our membership $150 a month? It should be a little bit cheaper. It's just a weird circle to be in. It's like, you're a gym owner and you're driving around in that thing. It's like, God, why should I feel like a piece of shit for, wanting to drive a car that makes me happy? Does that make any sense? It's like, all I want is the best from everybody, but there's this weird circle, and it's not every single member, but there are totally a handful of people. Let's say you have 200 members, there might be 10 to 20 of them that are going to give you a hard time about the car. And like every single time that happens, it's going to take your happiness down a notch, and you're going to get into that car and you're going to feel bad about the fact that you're driving around in it. Like, that's not good. Why should anyone do that? So the model for the typical gym is that, let's say you have 150 members, which we did at our peak. We had 150 members paying $150 a month. It comes out to like $22,000 a month or something gross, right? Gross revenue. That's just on memberships. And as far as I know a lot of affiliate owners. And that's a pretty good number to be making wherever the hell you're at. Next things you take into account are the rent and the payment of your coaches. Those are usually the two biggest things that come into play. And every single month that would come out, depending on the number of coaches that we had at that time, totaled out to be, anywhere around $12,000 to $14,000 a month. And then you've got $8,000 left over. That $8,000 goes away really, really quick. So I'd have to pay myself. Do things like pay for the freaking lease so we get equipment to keep up with all the members. We'd have to get an influx of apparel and drinks and supplements. And because, I wasn't a business-minded person, we couldn't pay for a front desk person. We couldn't pay for somebody to operate and point of sale, all those things. So it's like, hey, go write your name down on that sheet of paper so you can buy a fit aid. You would have to assume that there's going to be a wash there. So it was almost like the fit aid was there to make people happy, not to make us money. Again, business-minded guy, me, not so much. But it was also a circle where you can't pay somebody $10 an hour to sit there all day. I mean, you could, but you don't trust that person either. It's not really the reason you get into the freaking fitness business is to turn a profit. But when you end up having to turn a profit, then you get stuck and you're like, fuck, I don't know how to turn a profit. And again, I know this isn't just me because I see it everywhere. I walk into a CrossFit gym and I see that they have a sheet of paper sitting there, say, hey, if you take a fit aid, just fill it out. It's like honor system. But like, what other freaking business do you know that's run on the honor system? There isn't. There aren't any. Just CrossFit, right? Isn't that weird? That $8,000, it just goes away. Like maybe if you bank $1,000 to $2,000 a month, that's great. But then you've got the affiliation fee, which ends up being about $3,000 a year. So you put money away every single month for that. the insurance, which you put away money for that, the electric, the gas, and that's even if you're paying for heat, because a lot of these affiliates, you go into the winter and they don't even have heat. They don't have heat because it costs too much to heat the gym. And they turn off the freaking lights, and they turn off the lights because they can't pay for the electric. And then they miss payments on their coaches. And even if they are paying their coaches, so a lot of the times there's members who will work for a membership. And it's so freaking weird. It's impossible to make money. So I've had a lot of people ask, like, why am I no longer an affiliate owner? It's because at a certain point in time, I was getting to be, I'm 30 right now. I'm 30. I have a lifestyle that I want to put for myself and my fiance. It's something that I want to work towards. It's something that's very important to me. I mean, I wouldn't say by any measurement that I want to do anything extravagant, but I want to be able to afford gas at this point, you know? Gas is expensive. Towards the back end of my time there, I would be working upwards of 80 to 100 hours a week. And I would be working 80 to 100 hours a week, making like $4 an hour. I'll go work at McDonald's, and then I don't have to deal with all the stress. That was number one. That was the biggest thing. That was just me. But it's not just me. It's every affiliate owner that I really know, because every affiliate owner that I know is not doing so hot. It's hard to make money. Thing number two is that it's going to consume your life. And for some time, that's an okay thing, especially when you're in my position. So in my position, I lived at my dad's house for a lot of the time that I was an affiliate owner. Really weird. I was a business owner, but I was still living at my dad's house. That was okay because I spent basically all of my time at the gym. I'd get there at freaking 5:30 in the morning, and I would stay there until freaking 8 o'clock at night. And you know what I would do at home? I would sleep in the freaking bed. That was it. I had a bed. I slept in it. That was all I did there. And if I wasn't in the bed, I was either working out at the gym because I really wanted to be a high-level athlete, or I was coaching at the gym because it was my gym. And that was okay. And you know what? It ended up being a pretty successful thing for everybody, and myself included. I got really good shape. I saved a lot of money, the money that I was making after point one. But like, how long can you really go on for that for? It's not really something that's sustainable. So I did that for maybe 4 years. And about 4 years in, I started to think, hey, I gotta, get myself out of here a little bit. Like, I gotta put some systems into place so that I can have a little bit of a life. Like, if I want to go out for dinner, or if I want to do something at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, which is something that you can never do as a freaking business owner of a CrossFit gym, I wanted to try to explore that avenue. But I found that as I was exploring that avenue, the feeling and the vibe and everything that I've set up at the gym started to degrade a little bit. And that's not something that made me feel very good either. So it was just the terrible consuming of your life that you don't really want to let go of, but you have to dive into it real hard. So thing number two is that it consumes your life. There's some good, but they can only be done for so long. Thing number three is that it isn't possible to make everybody happy. As the person who is in the service business, because that's what you're doing, you are trying to put yourself in a position where you can make everybody as happy as possible. It was my tagline in one of my recent videos, is that make it the best hour of their day. Like, whatever you can do to make it the best hour of their day. You want to put on good music. You want to make sure that the atmosphere is good. You want to make sure that the program is good. You want to make sure that you're running the class on time. You want to make sure that they get everybody out on time. Hey, is there toilet paper in the bathroom? That's an important one. I mean, it's bare minimum, but sometimes it does take a little bit of effort to make sure that's happening, because there's so many things going on that sometimes you just forget. And it's like, oh shit, you got to run to the grocery store. It got really, really hard come pandemic time, because you had half of the population who was like all up in arms and saying this is stupid, and then you had the other half of the population which was worried that they were going to kill everybody. And I'm not here to like tell you my opinion on that, but very much like politics, not one person probably watching this knows whether or not I am like Republican or Democrat. And that's a very important thing that I always did, is that whenever people would talk about it, I would almost try to put a freaking axe in it and say, hey guys, we're not talking about this here, because no good comes from talking about politics. But when it came to COVID times, everybody, that's the only topic that people wanted to talk about. They wanted to say, don't do this, do that, or like we should or should not be wearing masks. And I was just sitting there like, all right, so if I enforce masks, half the gym is going to quit because they don't want to wear them. And if I don't enforce masks, half of the gym is going to quit because they think that I should be enforcing masks. That's a very easy way to say, oh, it's the middle of the winter and you should have the door open. And then the other half is like, you should have the door closed. It's stupid. Like, that's not a real thing. And I'm just sitting there like, all right, I'm the business owner. What do I do? How do I survive this? Those are just very good, like, finite things that eventually just kicked my butt out of the freaking gym. I'm like, I can't deal with this anymore. Just worked 100 hours this week. $4 an hour, I told you that. Sorry, guys, throwing in the freaking white flag. I love you guys. I love this. I want to make sure that everybody can get as much knowledge and fitness as possible, and that's all I want. But I'm sorry that I'm in a freaking situation where all this is going on. It's something that was very hard for me to do, which was to leave the situation. But at a certain point in time, the little things aren't so bad. Like, hey, you should run a 5 a.m. class. It's like, I just brush that off, because it's like, I don't want to run a 5 a.m. class. I can't wake up that early after having coached the 7:30 p.m. class. You leave the gym at 9 o'clock at night, and then you've got to roll around and be there at freaking 5 in the morning, which means you got to wake up at like 4 a.m. So right there, as a fitness person, you go, okay, sleep is the most important part of the day. So I need to get home, need to fall asleep right away, hopefully get to bed at 10. 6 hours of sleep is probably really all that's going to happen. And this is also after having spent the entire day at the place. So not only are you spending the entire day at the place, but now you don't even get to sleep, so you can have a good day spending the entire day at the place. But you want me to have a 5 a.m. class. So that was something that I was like, okay, can't do it. But when it came to the stuff, as hard pressed as the pandemic situation, wasn't very easy. So thing number 3 was that it was very impossible to make everybody happy. Thing number 4 is that the clients that you want are hard to come by. If I could paint a picture for the perfect client, just like the perfect person that I want, it would be somebody who would come into the gym, they would warm up, they would know the movements because we've spent some time working on them together, and if they had questions, they knew the questions that they were going to ask, because there's a class of 20 people and maybe there was one of me and another coach depending on how big the class was, but we would be able to answer those questions, give them the best workout, and help guide them down the road so that everything was going to go as well as possible. Best hour of their day, right? Do their strength piece, they do their Metcon, maybe they just do their Metcon, but when they're done, they're like, that was so awesome, thank you so much, I'm so happy I came in, I'm so happy that I read the workout the day before, see you tomorrow, I don't think I'm too beat up, it's a great workout, I'm gonna go tell all my friends about it. Those people are very hard to come by, and they're even harder to come by when they make the right amount of money. Money thing is a big issue, where put your credit card on file, $150 a month, no problem, right? They're like, yeah, no problem. Like, everything that you guys do for us, that's awesome. If I come here 20 times a month and it's $150, that's like freaking $7 or $8 a class. It's like, you can't get that anywhere. Like, especially what you're telling us about nutrition and how to exercise and the movements, it's awesome. You do the programming, you're here on time, all the positive things that they can say and the ease of having that member. And you know what's even better is sometimes they're just like community people, and the people around also like having those people there. So that's a plus from having the ideal member of your gym. Is someone who doesn't complain, somebody who appreciates everything that you do, somebody who works hard, gets their work in, understands what's going on. And then a fourth rung would be just somebody who everybody else also likes, because it's like ELE, everybody love everybody, right?
ELE. What does ELE stand for?
Everybody love everybody.
Everybody love everybody. Right there up on the wall.
Be a good dude, have a good time. So the fourth thing is that it's very hard to come by the ideal member. The fifth thing is it's very easy to come by the people that you don't want. First signal that it's going to be somebody that you don't want is if they walk into the gym and they ask for a discount. And then you're like, it's $150 a month, no problem, right? And they go, oh, you know, man, that's really expensive. I can just go to that place for $20. And I would say it's 50-50, the people that walk in the gym. Either they're gung-ho about it or they're really looking for a discount off the bat. And I got to the point after a couple years where if they asked that question, I was like, I'm not going to do any more work with you until you just sign up and pay for it, right? And even at that point, if they did like put their credit card on file, they would still be the member that would say, you know what, we should have more of this, or we don't have enough of that. And it would be heard. And they changed the music. The music is good today. Or they would show up late to class, like, hey, where's your hour? Your hour's from 4:30 to 5:30. And they'd show up at 4:32, and then they would take their sweet-ass time warming up, and then they'd be interrupting everybody in the warm-up. So not only are they not operating at a good pace, but a bunch of other people who were doing what they should be, now they're not doing it either. And they're not hearing the cues, and they're talking over the coaches, myself and whomever might be coaching. Oh, you play the same music every day. Turn something else on. Yeah, sure. Every once in a while it's okay. But with this person, it would happen every single day. It's almost like they were walking into the gym looking for things to tell you to do. They would also do like that backhanded compliment thing where it's like, oh, you do this so well, but you know what you could do that would be even better? Or I heard they do this over here. Like, why don't we do stuff like that? It all started and it all starts every single time with, can I get a discount? Could you help me out a little bit here? Every single time. So thing number 5 is that there are people, the clients everywhere that you just don't want. And you ever hear the conversation where like 10% of it ruins it for 90% of everybody else? So there were 10%, in my opinion, the ones that would actually make it, that would get under my skin, that literally ruined it for 90% of everybody else, because those are the ones that have to be heard and make themselves known. So before this video just gets freaking too long, I want to cut it off, and I want to say this isn't meant to be negative, but it's meant to be for the people who, you know, aspire to be CrossFit gym owners, and there isn't all sunshine and rainbows. And sometimes when people go about opening up a gym, or sometimes people say, Andrew, why don't you open up a new one? It's like, well, you don't understand the things that went wrong, or things that aren't possible when running a CrossFit gym, at least from my perspective. If there is somebody out there who can do it better, God bless their soul. And if there are people who see these things that I've spoken of and they're not issues for them, God bless their soul. That's all I have to say. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of other stuff too, or I'm just talking about, CrossFit gossip and crap. But if you like this, I'll make more of these too. Andrew Hiller, bye.